Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So, I was going to talk to you guys, or I'm going to talk to you guys about pelvic floor health today. I think I've spoken about it before, but I think it's a topic that is so important for women's health, especially as we age. And my husband surprised me with a text inviting me to lunch today. So what do you do? Or what do? I say yes, it's a lunch date. So I'm gonna put my makeup on, talk about pelvic floor health. Is it one of the most forgotten parts of your body? I think it is. I mean, who runs around thinking about their pelvic floor? And does everyone even know that it exists? I'm not for sure. I think we become more aware as we age, that's for sure, of vital parts of our body. Our pelvic floor has so many vital functions, especially as we age. And if you don't help to maintain the musculature in there, it doesn't do you any justice. I promise you that. So what becomes the issue is, as we age, our vaginal tissue changes, where without hormonal support, an environment that was once moisture-ridden, the tissue was more forgiving, meaning stretching, giving, moving, had more give to it. As we age, what happens is vaginal tissue needs hormones to maintain the proper health, balance, flora. Everything in the vagina is connected with our hormones. This is why as we age, we drop our sex drive. Our vagina goes through extreme changes. It's kind of like as you're in puberty and you become to, have a period, your vagina goes through extreme changes. So now on the backside of life, your vagina is doing the exact same thing, only in the opposite direction, which is not really what you want to be happening. So, my hormones play a big role in my pelvic floor health. This package contains my hormones. This package, it's called a troche. It's actually molded into this pan. This I take half in the morning and it dissolves in my cheek, which enters my bloodstream. You can't swallow this because it would not make it past your stomach to help you. So the idea of swallowing Premarin, which is a normal made from horse urine hormone that normal or regular medicine guys give women, they swallow it. So here's one part of the problem. It's made from horse urine, so the body only does not recognize what to do with it. So you only get a minimal health from it. And the other part of the problem is its delivery mechanism through the stomach and what the pill is actually compounded with. This has its delivery mechanism melting in, so there is nothing standing in the way for my body to break down these hormones, utilize them. So half in the morning, half at night before bed. This compound contains estrogen, estriol, estradiol, progesterone, testosterone. Women are complex creatures, and we need all 5 things to be at our maximum health. Remember, this is a plant-based compound, so the body automatically recognizes it as my own juice, as I 100% make it. So, what does that have to do with my pelvic floor? Well, when I didn't take my hormones, my pelvic floor was just almost completely useless. Your pelvic floor helps you stand up. Your pelvic floor helps you sit down. Your pelvic floor helps you stay standing, supports almost your entire body. If you realized how many muscles are running through your pelvic floor from front to back, meaning the front of your vagina to your actual butt, clear through, the muscles are sitting in your pelvis like in a bowl, because your pelvis is shaped like a bowl. These musculatures run like this. The striations also run like this. It's very complex. That's why if you hurt your SI joints in your back, right and left, it runs straight through to the front. So you can feel SI joint pain down the front of your thigh. This is just how we're made. It's how everyone's made. So the more you can stabilize your pelvic floor, do exercises, vital exercises to help keep those muscles powerful. Ladies, do your Kegels. I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but I cannot stress enough how, as we age, the tissues in the vagina are loosening. They're not once as taut as they were, and to help maintain our pelvic floor health, we want to make sure that we're using the muscles in there. That's the only way you can maintain your pelvic floor health. And this is sex, ladies. This is also sex. It's harder to maintain a sex life, in my opinion, and I've read a lot of studies about it, when your pelvic floor health goes because you had it naturally as a young woman and you didn't realize it. Say you didn't realize it. Most people don't. It's okay. But now be well aware of those musculars in there. The musculature in there is big. They're big muscles. Just think of your vagina, sorry ladies, as a giant muscle. That is what it is. We give birth through there. We have a life through there. I mean, there's really no delicate way to put it. And I'm not for sure I'm a real delicate girl to begin with. So, if you don't use your vagina, you'll lose it. The exact same way as if you don't use your muscles. Look how high I've built my traps up in lifting weights. Some people may think that's not attractive, but it's very healthy. So they're not too big, they're not too small, they're just the right size for my frame. You have to use your muscles. The pelvic floor health also helps us not to leak when we laugh, when we cough, when we sneeze. The better off your muscles are in there, the more they'll clench down and cut off urine from leaking right when you're, having a great time at a party and laughing. Yeah, I wear a pad every day of my life. I'm not trying to keep it a secret. I had the mesh surgery in there that destroyed my life and my body. Now I'm good now, but it took many, many, many years to get back what I once had. I never could have done it without balancing my hormones or cleaning up my food. How do we ingest toxins? The air we breathe, the food we eat, and what we slather on our body. What do we use to wash our hair? What is our lotion? What do we use for our face? All this stuff matters because it builds up over time in the body, and that's why we have higher incidence of Alzheimer's and dementia. This is a well-documented, well-studied phenomenon. As Susan Summers says in a lot of her lectures, we are under the greatest assault in humankind from toxicity. Even our phones are killing us slowly. Our wireless internet. In my home, in everybody's home, have I given it up? No. Do I think about? Yeah, because everything in the air, meaning the signals that are bouncing off for our wireless internet, our phones, affect our brain. And that is also well documented, well studied. That's why when women put their cell phone here in their bra, they come up with the perfect lump the size of their cell phone. That's why when you put it in your butt pocket, you come up with a lump the perfect size of your cell phone on your butt. So there's so many things to factor into our health in this day and age. Do I run around every single day worrying about it? No, I don't. What I do is the best that I can do. I haven't figured out how to give up my wireless, and I just haven't. I haven't figured out a lot of things. But what I do is try to lower my burden on the body. I don't wash my daughter's hair in anything that's toxic. I don't wash my hair in anything that's toxic. So every little thing that you do is like, okay, I take ibuprofen on a regular. Okay, I take Tylenol on a regular. Okay, I take Zyrtec for my allergies on the regular. Okay, I use bleach. Okay, I use Windex. Okay, I use 409. Okay, I use foaming bath bubbles. This is like a toxic layer burden for your body. The more you can keep it low, the better off you're going to be, especially as we age. Here's aging. Remember, I tell you guys, disease process to the body. So you have to fill the gaps, supplementation. And for me, and everything that I read and all the time I spend on it, supplementation is not really an option. I would never not supplement because there is no possible way I could eat 15 cups of blueberries a day. Just remember, our nutritional charts are completely outdated. And no doctor, I don't care if you've known your doctor for 25 years, he's not going to tell you, hey, those nutritional charts and the food pyramid are completely outdated, so you want to take some vitamins and supplementation. They're just not going to. They didn't learn it. It doesn't mean anything bad. They did not learn it. What they didn't learn, they don't know. They're busy. You know, they have patients. They have busy schedules. They're not going to go back and revisit things. Do some of them? Yes, they do. To their credit. Because it's so important that doctors re-educate themselves on environmental pressures to the body and how what changes it makes over time. So this all relates to, how is my pelvic floor musculature? Can I stop myself from leaking when I'm coughing? I can. I just clench, and cough. Do I always make it? No, I don't. The mesh surgery really tore up, a lot of my musculature in there. So it is very difficult to be as powerful as I once were. I do Kegels on the regular. I do them at the kitchen sink. I do them watching TV. If it pops into your mind, squeeze. It's not going to hurt you. It only benefits you. You should be able to squeeze with quite a purpose. And if you've never Kegled before, the feeling won't feel comfortable. It does feel strange, in my opinion. And when you first start, the squeeze is very light. It's hard to even, am I squeezing? Did I actually squeeze? But as you gain over time, and you keep trying once a day, once every other day. Don't do it once a week. If you're going to start. I recommend once a day squeeze. If you don't remember, get it done the next day. No shock here. I'm using Nudie Patootie, my new Ride or Die palette. I want to look nice today. Not over the top, just nice. So, if you've never Kegled or considered it, just consider it, because you want to keep those muscles as musculature as you can, meaning a muscle will never be healthy as it can be if you're not using it. Both ladies and men, set out weights in your living room like I do. It's an idea. Think about it. I have a 10-pound weight, hand weights in here, and I have a set of 3-pound weights. Why do I keep it by my television? Because this is where we are in the evening. We're sitting here watching television. I love my shows. I work hard. I put in a good day's work. I come home, we do the routine, the children, our daughter, the homework, the dinner. Then I want to sit on my butt with my feet up and watch my shows. But those weights sitting over here remind me that I could just as easily sit here curling a 3-pound weight while I watch my shows. Like, it doesn't make me sweat, it's not a burden, but I'm firing my bicep. I might even curl up over my head for my tricep area. It is a great kind of tip. When company comes, I pick up the weights and set them on my downstairs steps. So it's, not just sitting out. But hand weights aren't that big. So it's not really like this eyesore sitting around in your living room all the time. But I find if I have also weights downstairs in like the gym area, but I found if I keep all the weights downstairs, I don't use them as often as I should. Technically, you should lift a little bit every single day. You don't have to go to exertion. You don't have to go to exhaustion. You don't even have to try to, do it to where you're hurting yourself. Remember, aging, the most important thing when we lift weights as we age is form. Make sure you always have the proper form, that you're sitting up. Wherever you're sitting, you're lifting from your knee up and you're just curling. It's not a fast motion. Just make it a nice, slow, steady motion. It's healthy. It's so healthy for you to lift a little weights. You can even get on your hands and knees, put a 2-pound weight behind your kneecap with your leg up, and just lift your leg up. Now, I should show you that because it sounds very confusing, doesn't it? I'll work on it, okay? I need to have Tim hold the phone so I can show you that movement. But it's for your pelvic floor. I do it in front of my TV. Again, my TV's going. You don't have to. I'm not dying. I'm not pouring sweat. I'm lifting the muscle. Lifting the muscle. I'm lifting the weight for my pelvic floor. It's 2 pounds. It's in a strange position. I saw it on a Brooke Burke video. I highly recommend Brooke Burke workouts. I subscribe to her monthly. It's like $7.95. Her workouts for the gut, the butt, the core, the arms, the back. She is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant for aging women and keeping their health. You see her body size, Brooke Burke. She's all over social media. She's all over the internet. Google her. She used to be on Dancing with the Stars. You know, I keep her workout program in my phone because if I can't make it to the gym, I just work out here. I work out in my basement. I'll do one of her workouts up here. She has specific movements for pelvic floor health. I remember those movements and put them into my regular routine because I want to maintain my pelvic floor. I don't want my bladder falling through my vagina. That's what happens. You know, when I was very injured from mesh, I saw urogynecologists, which means, you know, they're the guys who push your bladder back up and stitch it into place. They're the guys who push your bowel back out of your vagina and stitch it into place when you're leaking. And sometimes you leak due to physical changes in the pelvic floor. We had babies, so that compromises our pelvic floor later. Now in our 50s, our bladder will want to sag down through the roof of the vagina. So that's why you leak more. A lot of times, patients will have the bowel bulging through. Say, this is my vagina, this is my roof, the bowel bulges through the back side. So at the same time they push up the bladder, they will push back the bowel, sew this back tight. Now you can go to the bathroom and move your bowel because it's not in the way. You don't have part of it punching through your vaginal wall. It's not like there's a hole and the bowel comes through. It's just weak muscles that can no longer maintain the wall connection, so the bowel actually pushes into the muscles and the muscles sag, which allows it to take space up in your vagina. Yeah, this is all super real stuff that happens to millions and millions of women. It's a very common surgery. They do the roof repair and the bowel repair at the same time. It's a very pretty quick recovery, actually. I've had it done. I had it done at the same time that they installed the mesh. The repair of pushing my bladder back up and pushing my bowel out was not what hurt me. The mesh is what ultimately led to the injuries that I sustained in there. But a lot of women in my age group get these particular surgeries. If I needed another push-up of the bladder or push back of the bowel, I would seriously consider it. Do I like modern medicine? No. But do I understand the downfalls of having the bladder sagging the roof of my vagina and the bowel pushing into my vagina as well. If you have symptoms, I urge you to get it checked out. Your GYN will definitely be able to tell if your bladder is sagging into your vagina. It's, a simple test, hand test as it were. They just feel your anatomy into the back wall and from the roof. Is it, painful? No, I mean, it isn't the most comfortable thing in the world, but when I was getting tested, as it were, but it was necessary. And now I maintain my health, my musculature, by squatting, by getting on my hands and knees and lifting my leg up like I'm on a fire hydrant. And that's literally what Brooke Burke calls it, fire hydrant. And she's lifting those legs up. That's for your pelvic floor. I lay on my back and pick my legs up. Core work, pelvic floor work. I spend a lot of time on core, pelvic floor because I want to maintain those muscles as best as I can. And I take all my supplements to help my musculature, to help plug the gaps as I age. Take my hormones. Even if you have a different delivery mechanism for hormones, say you use a cream, it's fine. It doesn't matter how you're taking your bioidentical hormones, just as long as you're taking them. Your pelvic floor will not be the same without them. That is science. That much I know for a fact. Men have the same problems. Without hormones, men will lose their muscular structure. If you've been married to your husband for a long time and you saw or you remember that he once had biceps that he really didn't work out a ton for, it was because he had testosterone on board. That's just, how it is. And now, do you look at him and wonder, this is not a bad thing, but you wonder what happened to his biceps? They're just kind of smooth and gone. That is the result of losing his hormones. And will somebody tell you it's a natural part of aging? Sure, they probably will, but it's actually not natural. The reason why this happened earlier in life, we didn't used to lose our hormones so young in life. I started losing hormones in my early 40s. I just didn't know it at the time. I wasn't educated to pick up on it. And if I would have, I would have saved myself a lot of hassle, a lot of medical expense, a lot of time and energy. But I can't go back. I can only go forward. I want my husband and I to be as balanced as possible. I want his pelvic floor protected as much as mine. He has a pelvic floor. He just doesn't have a vagina, meaning they have an Audi, but they still have a pelvic floor. You have to think about our muscles as we age. How come old people, elderly people, are hunched over and they have lumps on their backs? This is not a natural part of aging. My grandparents were never a weak one day of their life. I promise you this. My grandfather was vital until the age that he died at 86 or 7. Sorry, I've lost him many years ago. He was not that weak. My grandmother neither was not that weak physically. Yes, they didn't have the same musculature. My grandfather was smaller than he was when he was younger in his 80s. He did shrink. But I'm telling you that that does not have to be for us or for anyone. And if I would have known back then what I know now, I would have stopped the aging issues that he or she was having. And believe me, there weren't many. My grandmother had Alzheimer's for many years. In the end, she didn't remember or know who people were. But it was, one of the gaps that she did have in aging. But her body was okay until, late in life. Then things did deteriorate and go downhill. 1, she did not have hormones. 2, she didn't have supplements to support her aging process. But I promise you, her aging process was completely different than the ones that we have now. And I also promise you that there is a new way to age. Do you guys have foggy brains? I had the worst foggy brain. I couldn't remember jack. It was getting extremely bad, to the point that it was really surprising how bad I could not remember anything. The simplest things I could not remember. I had to literally make lists. These weren't, small lists. These were lists. I mean, lists. Because I couldn't remember stuff as we were walking out the door. I take my child to school every day. We'd get halfway down the road and I would forget 5 things that I should have put in the car for her school day. Signing notes for school. I mean, just the simplest tasks, laying out meat for dinner. We weren't getting much done because we couldn't freaking remember anything. I wasn't concentrating the same at work, putting in all these hours, having trouble thinking as clearly as I once did. These signs are totally the body music telling you have gaps. The brain needs its hormones to think. Now, that may sound the stupidest thing you've ever heard, but if you research it, look it up, spend a little time on the topic, we also need hormones to control our emotions. This is why children, one of the reasons why children are more emotional than adults. their brains are not fully formed, and they are not hormonally in check yet, meaning estrogen or testosterone has not been released into the body. The brain is not ready, and they cry because they don't understand how to communicate, and they don't have the benefit of hormones yet, meaning you see what havoc puberty wreaks on a young person. Think about how they level off as everything comes into more normal ranges. They stop being moody and so touchy because the hormones have flooded. Now they've leveled off. So now women are going to be moody only once a month, per se. The boys level out too, so things become more easy for them. And it's the same way on the backside of life. So I've seen many elderly people be very emotional, teary-eyed. This is not a natural thing just because they're elderly. This is a direct result of because they don't have hormones on board. And yes, please consider keeping your hormones for your entire life, the rest of your life, the backside of life. Yes, is there a need for an 80-year-old to have hormones? Yes. It's the same need for a 40-year-old to have hormones, to be balanced, to have healthy muscles and a healthy brain. What do we want as we age? We want a healthy brain that can think cognitively. We want our bones and our muscles to work so we can stand up straight. It's a passionate subject of mine. I see when I'm out so many people that are vital, could be so vital if they only had hormones on board. And I see women and men who are in great shape at 75, good body weight, very sharp. They don't take hormones, and I just think, wow, the gaps that I do see could be completely plugged in if they were hormonally balanced at this age. We're getting there. We're getting there. But think about what's going on the inside of your body. Don't take it for granted. The pelvic floor is also helping us have bowel movements. I know. But it is true. Do I think about it when it's happening? No, but this is what is connected. I want to keep those muscles healthy. I want to be able to have sex that's not uncomfortable for me. It's not hurting my vagina. That's not making me want to move around to kind of avoid certain contacts during sex because my musculature is not the same that it once was. I don't want to have to compensate to do the things that I'm used to doing. Did I used to compensate? Yes, I did. I compensated all the time. It's cuckoo time here. Sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, but I love it. But I know you guys are probably like, whoa, cuckoo. Actually, there's no reason medically why any couple, married, any couple, having a healthy sex life at any age is completely within norms. It's completely expected. It can be an expectation that's completely normal. So don't let anyone tell you that it isn't normal to have the same kind of desires and sex life as you once had in your 30s. I'm shocking you before I sign off with lips. My favorite lip liner of all time is Kat Von D. I'm not a big fan of pencil liners. I like a more creamy type formula for my lip liner. And I like to keep my lip liner, you know, a more naked color. Skin color, as it were. I don't have the best lips, but I like to overdraw them just a little bit. Not like tons of it, but a little bit. I have a very pronounced top lip, but it's not that big, so I'd like to overdraw just a little bit. This is Kat Von D Bow and Arrow. This is my all-time favorite lip liner for the taupey family. I have this Tarte lipstick. This is called Skinny Dip. It's fairly new. It is one of my all-time favorite colors. And I also put a little gloss on top of this as I get out the door or in my car. I always put just a little bit of gloss on. I find mature faces, in my opinion, look very, very great with a little bit of shiny lip. Just because of a mature face, I think they look better with just a little shiny lip. This is my nude lip color. I absolutely love it. I don't wear a lot of shocking lip colors. I always kind of like to let my eyes lead the way and my lips to be a little more quiet. And that is all just personal taste. If you guys can have a lip that's leading the way, you should go for it. You should always do you. And what did I just grab? Peony Osmosis. I mean, can you even get me off this shade? I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I'm also going to lock in that I didn't do. But it's okay if you don't. Take your powder and just run it all over, even over the top of everything, because all it's doing is just locking everything in, making everything blend together really, really well. And this, of course, this hourglass is giving you super healthy vibe. So since this video is like 5 hours long, I'll let you guys go. This is, now I'm going to put my mascara on off camera, but I like the lip, and I usually have on a nude lip. That's kind of what I do, or I have on a gloss, and I'm going to touch up my eyeliner up here just a little bit and put on my mascara. But the moral of today's story is, if your husband texts you for last minute lunch, say yes. Life is short, and loving each other isn't always easy. Not because of time and pressures of work and children and grandkids at my age. We're pretty busy. So if you can carve out just a few moments here or there for your marriage on the backside, I think it's so important. It's so, so important. And pelvic floor health for us females are so vital, to even try to avoid the surgery. I mean, if you need it, you need it. But if you've gotten it and you want to maintain, do your Kegels, do your squats, get on your hands and knees, do some exercises. Your body is the ultimate machine. You can't sit on the couch your entire life. I wish we could. You don't have to run every day. I started running. It hurts. It's a killer. So I'm not even trying to blast you guys about running. it hurts. It tears stuff up, especially at our age. I'm just trying to reach that maximum goal, and running's going to get me where I want to go faster. I have a horse show next week, so I'm just pumping up that cardio, getting at my max fitness output that I can at this weight. I'm a size 8 right now. Looks like by the time I'm done, I'm going to be more like a 7, which just makes me want to cry. I mean, I didn't even know I could be that small. I'm a big girl. I'm 5'9", sitting on a large frame that's been measured just in my bony sections. So don't ever worry so much about looking like a magazine. Just be you. I'm a big girl. I'm never going to be a 4 or 5, but I will still look like $1,000,000. I promise you that. And you guys will still look like $1,000,000 because not everybody was born to be a 1, 2 or a 4, 5. My ultimate BMI puts me at a size 7, and it looks really good on a big girl. Size 7 makes you look very slender, even taller, makes you look like you have long legs, long torso. So I'll take it. So you guys, I'm glad to share the information with you. I'm going to keep sharing the information with you as I study. If I have any more things that I find out new, I'm always going to share with you guys. I'm always going to keep my knowledge coming. It's so important for my vitality as I age, and it's important for anyone's aging process. Just remember, it's a process. We're all learning. We're all aging together, and I want to age the new way. Love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give it a thumbs up and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload. Thank you.